Hello world, and we are back. And this is going to be episode 27 of my poker vlog. I'm Kyle Fischel, and today we're going to talk about a session I played last Saturday. It was September 21st, and it was the definition of a roller coaster of poker. To start out with, for the first hour, maybe 2 hours, I didn't win a single hand.
I promise that I will lose for at least an hour.
I like that. Sounds good to me.
That kind of player.
Like, I was just extremely card dead. Hadn't been that card dead in a long time. Kind of interesting to see how fast you can go down $200-300 at 2-5 by just not picking up hands. I was actually a little bit worried that I'd have to take a terrible trip to the ATM and get a rebuy going. Things turned around starting with this hand. With a middle position player limp, I'm on the button and I have 5-6 of spades. And when I'm on the button and there's one limper, he's kind of short stacked, kind of weak. I think that I can raise and take it here a lot of the time, and if not, be fine to play a hand post flop in position. So I make it 25 and the blinds fold, the limper calls. Not quite what I wanted to happen, but let's see a flop. Flop is ace, queen, deuce, one spade. Not quite the flop I'm looking for. He checks to me, and when he checks to me, I really have nothing. Like, I have such a bad hand here that I almost have to bet. Additionally, I think that I can have every ace in the deck here, and he really shouldn't have any. So I think a down bet should get a fold out of him a lot of the time. So I down bet to 20, and that's when I notice his stack is only about $130-ish. Kind of a poor bet here because I think he's going to be just committed to jam a lot with any ace or queen, and I might have kicked myself out of the hand. But he chooses to call, and because he does, I don't think he's ever going to fold here that often. Just, I feel like he's almost pot committed, and I'm willing to just...
Shut it down! Shut it down! Turn it off!
On nearly any turn card. However, the turn is the 4 of spades. Probably the best card that I could pick in the entire deck. Now when he checks to me, I pretty much snap, shove all in. At this point, I think that, I don't think he ever has an ace here. I don't think he can call with a queen. And even if he does, you know, have great odds to just win. But luckily he folds and we get our first winning hand of the night. Shortly after that, it seems that only suited connectors are working for us, or suited gappers, because early position player makes it 25. There are 4 callers to the 25. I'm on the button with 5-3 of hearts, and I choose to call as well. Blinds fold. So we're going 6 ways to a flop with a pretty big pot pre-flop, and the flop is 10-3 deuce, 2 hearts. So that is pretty much the flop you can hope for if you're going to play a suited gapper. Pair plus flush draw, backdoor straight draw, pretty much the world. The early position player pre-flop aggressor chooses to check, and it goes check, check, and right now I'm thinking that I am going to put out a 80%, 100% pot bet and just try to win right here, because I should have the best hand almost all the time, and if I'm behind, I have great odds to catch up and win. However, the cutoff chooses to bet $80. Now, when he chooses to bet $80, I have a decision to make. I could call and hope to hit. I could raise and just hope to take control of the betting lead and see what develops. But I choose the, let's call it the highest variant route. I take about a minute and decide to jam all in, because now with almost $240 in the pot and I have a total of about $540, I think that a jam here to win $240 is pretty good. I think I'll get a lot of folds, especially when he bets kind of big. I don't think he ever has better than one pair, and even if he does have a 10 with no kicker, he probably will fold it to a jam, and if he calls, I'd have my flush draw, pair outs, I'm great. Well, the early position pre-flop aggressor thinks for a while before he eventually folds. Cutoff does the same. He thinks for a while and then folds. The pre-flop aggressor says he folded jacks, and that was quite a strong fold, but we'll take it. Alright, so for this next hand, there is a button straddle. There are two callers. I'm in late position with Queen 8 of spades. I choose to call because suited gappers are the only way I'm winning today. The button checks, blinds fold. So we're going 4 ways to a flop, which comes 6, 9, 10, 1 spade. It checks to me, and when it checks to me here, I'm quite happy with the hand that I have. I think that my hand has a lot of value in the fact that if I make a hand, it's going to be very disguised. So my plan is to build a pot slowly, but at a level where I can make it to the river. So I choose a very small sizing as kind of a blocker, take control of the betting lead bet. I bet $15, thinking that I'm going to have control of the pot for the rest of the hand. But no, the button raises to 35. The two other players in the hand fold, and it's back to me. I'm never really going to fold here. I'm kind of upset that it's bloating at this rate. I kind of need to hit, a 7, a jack, a queen, a spade, something to be able to continue. And if he raises and continues betting, probably not the best situation for me. But like I said, I think my hand has a lot of disguised strength to it, and it's almost a min raise, so I'm not going to fold for just $20 more. So I call. The turn is a jack, so that is a great card for us, obviously. What a card. And we're going to check, hope the flop raiser raises again, and he does. This time he bets $85. Now with my specific stack size of about 550 behind, I'm going to try to make a size where I can get to a river jam pretty easily and keep him interested. So I do what he did. I almost min raise. I make it exactly 200, hoping that he'll just call, and then I can do a $300, $340 all in on the river. Well, he actually thinks for a while, and he starts going back and forth. You can't have queen king. And I'm like, you're right, I do not have queen king, but that means the hand that I have is definitely good, because you shouldn't have been trying to hit a gut shot either. And I did. So the disguised strength of my hand is definitely gonna work off here. He doesn't believe me. He says if you got it, you got it. I'm all in. And I snap call and show queen 8, and he thinks he's good and shows, but he's not. So we got pretty extremely lucky there, and we get a full double up to make the session go pretty well. So at this point, we're up nearly $600. We have $1,400 in front of me. We're doing great. We've been there like 5 hours, feeling good, over $100 an hour hourly, and then this last hand happened. So with 2 limpers to me, I'm in middle position. I have pocket queens. I make it 35. The player to my direct left re-raises to 90. Everyone else folds, and it's back onto me. Now, when this happens, I really need to just 4-bet. This player's been 3-betting at a very high percentage. He's probably 3-bet 10 times across 3 hours. Like, with such a high percentage, this is a 4-bet all day with queens. But me as a player, I personally like a very trappy, pot-controlled style. So my plan is to just call, and with all the undercards on the board, I'll just make my move on the flop and win the pot that way. That's my actual plan. Well, that's not going to happen because the flop comes king 4-4, 2 diamonds. Because couldn't fade 1 overcard, 2 overcards, ace and kings. Couldn't fade the overcards. I check to him, he bets 125. Now, with all that I've said, with his high 3-betting percentage, he's shown down some of his hands. He's never really had ace-king. He's never really had a good hand. I just don't believe him. I really don't believe he has a king here ever. Or a flush draw. Just the bluff radar's going off. So I call. Turn is a 5. brings 2 clubs. And now he bets 225. Again, I don't think he has it here ever. I think he's completely bluffing with air, and I just don't believe it. So I call again, 225, second pair. River is a 7, completely blank. I think he's going to shut down a lot of the time here because he's had his bluffs called like a few times that I've seen, and he's shown the air. So I really believe that. I'm just going to check here and win. I check, and he goes all in. Puts me all into the test. I'm at the point where I have a 1 chip in this hand and my cards in this hand, and they're both kind of flip-flopping which one's going in because it's an $800 bet, a little more because that's how much I had left. Very, very big. Well, I fold. I fold face up, basically beg him to show, and he shows 9-10 of hearts. So he bluffed me in my face, all in.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
Idiot sandwich what?
An idiot sandwich, Chef Ramsay.
Got me. And I think that his line really didn't make sense, and the more and more I think about it, the more I wish I would have called, because even if you have just 1 pair king, you probably aren't all inning that river. And with all the undercards, you probably don't have any of that. Basically, the only hand that I think he can credibly rep with this line is pocket aces, and hope that I have pocket or ace king, and hope that the ace king pays off the aces. And that was kind of my thought at the time, but with only 1 possible value hand and so many bluffs, that should be a call. He shouldn't be shoving with just a pair of kings. That's adventurous. Maybe he does. I don't know. I choose to fold. It is an incorrect fold. Hope I learn for next time. Well, the session concluded with me winning $40. That's right, 40. Be thinking about that one for a while. Well, if you've watched to this part, thank you for the support. Please consider subscribing. It helps out the channel. And there will be more to come. I will be in Naples this weekend at the Naples Greyhound track. So anyone in the Southwest Florida area, please comment, and you may see me there.